You know what the problem with Hollywood is? They make shit. Unbelievable, unremarkable shit. Now, I'm not some grungy wannabe filmmaker searching for existentialism through a haze of bong smoke or something. No, it's easy to spot bad acting. Short-sighted direction. The purely moronic stringing together of words these studios term as prose. Now, I'm talking about a lack of realism. Realism. Not a pervasive element in today's modern American cinematic vision. Take Dog Day Afternoon, for example. Arguably Pacino's best work, short of Scarface, Godfather Part 1, of course. Masterpiece of direction, easily Lament's best. The cinematography, the acting, the screenplay, all top-notch. But they didn't push the envelope. Now, in Dog Day, what if Sonny wanted to get away with it? Really wanted to get away with it. What if, here's where it gets tricky, what if they started killing hostages right away? No mercy, no quarter. Meet our demands, or the pretty blonde in the bell-bottoms gets in the back of the head. Bam, splat. Come on, still no bus? How many innocent victims splattered across the window would it take for the city to reverse its policy on hostage situations? And keep in mind, this is 1976. There's no CNN. There's no CNBC. There's no internet. Now, fast forward to today. Same situation. How quickly would the modern media make a frenzy out of this? In a matter of hours, it would be the biggest story from Boston to Budapest. 10 hostages die. 20, 30. Bam, bam, one after another. All caught in high def, color corrected. Pictures so crisp you can practically taste the brain matter. For what? A bus? A plane? A couple $1 million that's federally insured? I don't think so. Of course, not within the realm of contemporary cinema, but what if? Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Hollywood Hustle. I am your co-host, Tom Bates. Coming in here, we've got our co-host, Jordan.
Jordan. Give it up for Tom Bates, everybody. That's what I'm talking about.
Thank you.
Woo!
Yeah, just dropping the monologue on y'all's brains today. I got a nice, very significant audition immediately after this broadcast, so getting fired up, getting the wheels greased. I mean, I'm already greasy enough, but sometimes it's better to over-grease.
I agree. Dippity-doo.
Yes.
I just cover my whole face in dippity-doo. It's meant for your hair, but I found the secret. You put it on your face.
That's right, and I do that too, and you know where I learned that from?
Who?
You.
I knew my information was making its way around, and lives were improving because of it. So thank you for reaffirming everything that I'm doing.
Yeah, the strange part was I found that piece of information on a very strange pornographic website, but that's beside the point. It's the information that matters.
Yeah, exactly.
Anyway, disclaimer. So we got a lot of hot topics for you today, a lot of hot takes on the Hollywood Hustle here. We got information to talk about. Where do you want to start, Jordan?
Might as well start with a pretty hot button topic right now.
What's that?
Miss America removing the swimsuit aspect of the competition.
Oh my God. You know, Miss America pageant, that's one of those things that comes around once a year that everyone just gets so excited for, right? Like, it's like Christmas, like for a whole month, Starbucks is releasing limited edition Christmas flavors in the stores and everyone decks up their house. It's like that, but bigger. Yeah. That's how much people care about Miss America.
State pride. We can stop thinking about Flocka in Florida for once and just think about some titties for a little while,
Yeah. The cure-all.
But now no more titties.
No more titties. They want to rip this from the program. They want to take out the swimsuit competition. Let us know what you think about that in the columns, and we're going to get some hot takes here.
Okay, so here's all the showmanship aside. Here's me. I think that the competition is stupid to begin with, and it has been a beauty pageant, which, especially if you've seen the young kid ones,
oof,
it's like disgusting. Oof. And that's who these, like, if you're becoming Miss America, you've been a pageant girl for most of your life.
Yeah.
And it's not something to aspire to. I understand why women wouldn't really want that to be the pinnacle of, like, Miss America. I get it. But it's existed this way. It's been a beauty pageant. It's been about beauty more than anything. More than you've heard the dumbass answers on stage. You know the example better than me.
Oh yeah, it was just to reiterate for our loving audience here. 2007, there's a viral video where Miss South Carolina came up with an answer. The question was something like 65% of Americans over the age of 18 can't find where the United States is on a global map, which is bullshit. But anyway, we'll go with that. But she's like, why do you think this is? And her answer was just riveting. I can't tell if she's a genius or if she's like below room temperature IQ. I really don't know. Because she goes on this rant about how, people, they just don't have enough money and, schooling to understand the situations going on in U.S., in America, and in the Iraq and other such as. So I can, I'm so, autistic in my brain, I can piece that together and be like, that's actually kind of profound. Wow. She's actually making a deep comment on the social fabric of the educational system in the United States of America. That's
the Iraq and such as.
Yeah, but I felt bad for her too, because I see her standing up there and she knows she can't do that. You don't judge a fish by its ability to fly. She's not a fucking geographer. She doesn't have answers. She's not quick on her feet. She looks good. And you know what? That's all she needed to do, because I followed up on her and I found out she's now married to some rich motherfucker and lives in Brentwood.
And that's what this has historically been. And I think it's stupid and probably should have never existed anyway.
Yeah, that's the Hollywood hustle stand on beauty pageants.
Yeah.
It's stupid. Fucking stupid.
Exactly. But the fact that they're getting rid of it and it's this whole big thing about judging women on intellect, on accomplishments, and I believe in all of those things too. But why make that the center of a beauty pageant?
It's like I'm saying. Now, riddle me this. Women that have exceptional intellect and are exceptionally accomplished, they're not doing fucking beauty pageants. They're head of some department at Johns Hopkins University, or they're teaching economics at University of Chicago or something like that. They're not doing fucking beauty pageants. So that being said, I think that's not going to really pan out well, and they know that, dude. They're trying to shut that down. They're trying to shut it down because, I mean, call it what you want, but it does objectify women.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, say what you want about that and your beliefs about that, but I think that's pretty objective.
Of course, and that's why I'm saying it's not that I have a problem with them getting rid of it, but it's what's the whole point of this stupid competition? And then is there, if we want to judge people based on intellect and whatever, what type of competition is that? They have these game shows. They have Who Wants to Be a Millionaire, your fact ability to recall stupid shit from 50 years ago.
Which I'm very good at. I should do beauty pageants. Actually, you know what? I kind of like this now because I could win some money.
Well, make a men's version, and then maybe that somehow evens things out too. You know what I mean? It's a dumb thing that is so hyped, and to see the responses from people who are super left being so excited how it's about time. It's just get rid of the fucking competition. It's stupid. I'm not a fan of it. It's another way to sell advertisements. It's another way to get people glued on TV. And the reason men and most people watched it was to see how they looked in bikinis. So good luck with that.
Yeah, and it's just another way that they're ripping all these things away. But at the same time, like you said, I don't have a problem with it. I mean, I don't watch the thing in the first place. Yeah. I've got bigger fish to fry. I've got other things to do.
But meanwhile, everything in our society is so hypersexualized. And at a younger age, the internet is just saturated with disgusting shit. You go on Instagram, who has the most followers? The chicks who show the most ass. It's pretty obvious where everybody's heads are actually at. If you just look at, if you had a master fucking history of everybody's internet doings in the entire country, you'd see ass and titties everywhere. But now we're trying to deny that that's a thing, and we're going to take off an actual wholesome representation of a woman's body in a bikini. You go to the beach, that's not fucking, there's nothing wrong with that.
No, there's nothing wrong with that. And especially some people that work their ass off almost in a literal fashion when you think about it to get that type of physique. And that was originally the motive for that portion of the Miss America pageant. Because yes, some people are genetically gifted, but say what you want about the intellectual capacity of those women, they probably live in the gym.
Oh yeah, they work hard as fuck.
And they diet like crazy. I'm sure the 2 weeks before the pageant, they're just eating like a single piece of kale and just like, just fucking dying on their feet.
Well, and that's the problem.
Well, look, man, just be healthy.
Exactly.
Just be healthy.
Exactly.
Like don't be too damn skinny. Don't be too fat. Okay. And just be like right in that middle region where it's just sexy.
Yeah.
It's beautiful. I love it.
And that's what we think about that. But yeah, it's just odd how we're trying to change the fabric of society on the mainstream front, but then you have the hidden front, which goes on in people's minds and on people's private screens in the private of their home. And there's a huge disconnect. And I think the more you try to eliminate the actual desires of people and what people are actually interested in the mainstream, you see it turn up even more in these private sectors that are, you can go off on a rabbit hole forever. When before, Playboy was like the thing that guys saw. It was like, oh yeah. And you'd like find one in the forest or something and you'd keep it. Like, this is my one way that I can see titties when you're 13 or something. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Of course. I know what you're saying. I agree. Yeah. Well, the interesting thing about Playboy was people used to read it. It was a men's magazine like GQ used to be. And it would tell you style guides and what kind of scotch to drink if you want to impress a lady. And then it'd just be like, boom, right in the middle, like, some chick, totally unclothed. But, yeah, I mean, I'm not really into the whole, like I said, the whole beauty pageant thing, the whole judging people on the sinners, but that's not the way to do it by ripping it away from people like that. It's not like there was like a real public outburst of outrage over that. It's the same people that are fucking up our society. Sorry for the F, but that's what they're doing. That are just trying to infiltrate everything that your average dude likes. And then you ask this question, are they going to do away with the Sports Illustrated swimsuit edition? Either they are going to do away with it, or they're going to start putting pictures of like Rebel Wilson was the first name that came to mind. Her in some kind of scantily clad bikini instead of Kate Upton or something like that. It's not good.
Yeah, I mean, it's not a realistic picture to paint in that regard. It's like, well, that's not what, nobody wants to see that.
And then check this out. Here's what they'll do. Because they'll never accept the blame. They'll never say, oh, maybe this was a shitty idea that people don't want. So they'll do that, and they'll blame all these disgusting pig men for objectifying women, and we had to put these women in this magazine against their will. Okay. And then the magazine sales will tank, and they'll blame the same guys.
Yeah.
Like something's wrong with them.
It's so strange, man. But that's why
bullshit.
I wanted to start off today talking, because it's current, it's fresh. I'm sure a lot of people have opinions on it, and we want to hear for sure. So hit us up. But from what I've seen, it's been a whole bunch of just, you buy into one realm or you buy into another.
Yeah, it's this dichotomy.
And no critical thinking. It's either you support women or you're anti-women. And that makes no fucking sense.
Well, I'll tell you this too. Our take, and I understand the perspective of the whole spectrum there. Our take by those kinds of people, which I think our take was middle of the road, just being objective. Now, you don't want to hear my subjective opinion on that. They will label us as if we're these disgusting pigs and stuff. It's like, no, I agree with you to a certain degree, but it's nuanced. And that's the thing. They create this dichotomy, either or. There's no nuance, no gray area, no area for me to debate and discuss ideas, because they're not interested in that. They're interested in shaping your psychology.
Yep.
That's what we call a psyop. So anyway, that's a Hollywood hustle hot take. It's a good one.
Yeah, and that kind of is a decent segue if you want to go into this whole ideological warfare that we're kind of in the midst of in our culture right now. And I don't know if you're down. Are you down?
You went there. I don't want to deprive our listeners of a potential rant. Go for it.
All right. So, and just for the sake of referencing something that's decently legitimate, I'm listening to a Joe Rogan episode with this lady, Candace Owens.
She hot?
she looks nice. She's African-American woman, conservative. She's kind of like the poster child for the conservative movement at the moment. Not the, but she's one of them. People love her because she does talk a lot of sense.
I'm going to Google her.
She's young, she's beautiful, and she's African-American. So that's like a huge win for them. And I'm listening to her and Joe talk, and most of the conversation is pretty interesting. She makes a lot of sense. Nothing's too far hard right or like just, it seems like she's thought about everything and tried to use as much logic and rationale to get to her conclusions, right?
Yeah,
and then,
she's cute.
And then towards the end of the conversation, they get to climate change, which is one of these polarizing topics, right? You're either, you think it's a complete hoax and you think that anybody who believes in it is trying to stifle the growth of America.
Yeah. Again, either or, dichotomy, right?
Or
you're team this or you're team that.
Yeah. Or you are directly responsible for every environmental issue that's going on. And this is going to kill everybody now. And we need to stop using gas, et cetera. You know, and our carbon footprint being the main reason that the Earth is going to die, which is not going to happen anyway, because the Earth is going to long outlast us, obviously. But what I found interesting about that, more than just whether or not the scientists are right or the propaganda articles are right or she's just has this opinion, but the reason she has this opinion is because it aligns with her audience.
Right.
There's no actual discourse, and even in her own mind, other than the stuff she wants to see, which is there's a couple of websites that could be illegitimate, spouting stuff about climate change. And Al Gore's an asshole. We all know that. The first green, is he a billionaire?
Yeah, he became a billionaire off this, and he'll do some kind of seminar about climate change and how fossil fuels are ruining the world, and then he'll hop into a fleet of Suburbans and drive to his private jet. And it's like so hypocritical.
Okay.
But he's a politician, and politicians are hypocrites. It's how you get that far. Just a quick aside. Anyway, please continue.
But my issue is that this very well thought out, well spoken, articulate potential poster child for a lot of commentary and maybe a future in politics abandoned reason for the sake of just agreeing with what her constituents agree with.
Okay. Not to cut you off, but a quick point.
Yeah.
I agree she abandoned reason like you're saying it, but I don't believe she abandoned reason from her perspective.
Yeah.
Right? You get what I'm saying? Because in her mind, she's like, all I got to do is parrot Republican Party talking points. They don't believe in climate change, then I don't either.
Yep.
And I don't have to do any type of thinking. I just go down the list, and that's what I believe, and I'm sticking to it.
Yep.
Because this is going to advance my career. You bet your ass she's going to end up with a show or something on Fox News and then hop into politics. And that's how you do it.
Yep.
That's how the game's played. She's playing the game.
Oh, 100%.
You know what I'm saying?
And she's good at it, too. But in a free-form conversation where it's not just like you have a short little statement prepared on why you think this, and they have somebody in the room pulling up stats on stats of tens of thousands of scientists across the world coming to conclusions about human carbon emissions and the effect it's having on the environment. I think the big flaw in the left trying to even use this as a politicized point is horrible marketing on their side.
Yeah, they don't have the best optics.
No, because one thing that we all want, high quality air. We all want high quality water.
High quality H2O.
H2O, yeah. We want life to be good. We want our kids' lives to be good. We want this place that we live to be a healthy place for us to live and do our shit. Why does it have to be climate change? Like that's, or they try global warming. That didn't work.
Right, and they changed it because nomenclature is huge in politics, is what you call it. Because climate change is like, oh, you don't think the climate changes? That's why they did it.
So, yeah, exactly. So why don't they just say pollution, Clean Air Act, anything that would make more immediate benefit to us? You know what I mean? Like for people to actually identify with this issue.
Don't mind me.
And then it would be a lot harder to deny. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, man. Hard to deny, like, you can't see it, but this bicep's huge right now. This is for the ladies. We have a lot of girls that watch us, and they said they wanted me to do more curls when we were broadcasting.
For those of you just listening on the podcast app, Tom is doing curls with a 20-pound weight that he found
it's
in
40.
my studio.
It's 40. There's 20 on both sides. That means it's 40.
Oh, that makes sense, yeah.
Anyway, no, that's a good big brain take, Jordan.
It's just one of those things where I'm not saying I hold the right opinion on anything. I don't fucking know.
Right, and you're willing to admit that.
Yeah.
Thank you.
But I try my best to use reason, and I try my best to not just subscribe and say, well, this is what I'm supposed to believe because I agree with this particular person. It's like, no, I disagree. I agree with people on some things, disagree on others, and I'm trying to build this view that is as accurate as possible, at least for my own fucking sanity. That's it.
Right, so you are the opposite of what we would refer to as an ideologue. Today's word of the day, ideologue, which is someone that adheres to an ideology regardless of the presentation of facts or counter arguments that make sense. So, yeah, with global warming, of all the politicized issues, it's like 99% of people just say you don't know because you don't know, right?
Yep.
You're not a scientist. You're not an expert in this field. You're not a geologist, right? It's not like you're standing on Antarctica and you're seeing the ice cap melt into the ocean, create giant tidal waves, a la that stupid movie with Jake Gyllenhaal. Yeah, you don't know. And neither do we. But I can tell you, Earth is sexy. And that pollution is making it not as sexy. Mm-hmm. And this is really the only way I know how to frame arguments is with sex. Is that messed up? Anyway. In my mind, come to LA, hang on the 405 in rush hour traffic with all these semi-trailers, a couple F-350s, and every car that's not a Prius, and look up into the sky and you're in a haze of smog. There's no way that's not doing something negative to Earth.
Yeah.
I'm saying that. But the cows farting thing, have you heard that argument on global warming? That's so ridiculous. Like, you guys have millions and millions of dollars worth of grants and donations, and you come up with cows farting to try and convince the general populace that your theory is true? Guys, come on. Give me a fucking break, please. Thank you. Sorry for the F. Anyway, yeah, so that's a little bit ridiculous. But yeah, people are ideologues, and that's a bigger problem within our society is like, I can talk to you and I enjoy our conversations because you're open-minded, genuinely open-minded. You'll entertain anything. And not to get all, intellectual here, but the Socrates quote that the mark of an intelligent mind is being able to entertain an idea without accepting it. Right? Yeah. So you can be able to hear someone's argument, you can take it in and you can put it up against your own objective experience. And if it holds water and it's true, then you roll with it. You're willing to change your mind. But so many people are stuck in a certain way, and they're too ideological. They're not practical with what they believe with all these political issues. So that's my take on that. And I think, again, that's a sign of intelligence, and not that many people are smart.
Well, it takes a lot of time. I mean, even in a conversation where somebody tells me something that I don't agree with in that moment, the only way to truly consider it is to go home and mull it over and do some research and talk to other people too. When people flip immediately and say their piece, there's no listening, there's no considering, and the value of considering is A, you might actually change your mind, or B, you reinforce your opinion that much stronger, and you actually know how to articulate these ideas in a much stronger, better way to people who now you've actually considered them, you've heard them, you've empathized with them, you understand where the fuck they're coming from. And you still don't agree, but it changes the way conversations are had.
Right, and these kind of people have that ideological mental block that while you're presenting your argument and framing everything and articulating your viewpoint, they're not even listening. They're just waiting for their turn to refute you. They're not listening to what you say. And I don't think very many people are political junkies along the line that I think I am, where they like live, eat, and breathe that. And so they don't know the other side's argument. They just know their argument and they believe it, so it's right because they don't want to reframe their whole world view.
Yeah, it's pathetic, man. And it's one of those things where, it goes back to being on the schoolyard, just wanting to fit in and have people that like you and that you like and you have a community, and it's not the way to do it when it comes to ideas and things that are going to be shaping our culture. There needs to be as much objectivity and reason as possible.
Yeah. I'm smart. Now, like everybody says, I'm dumb. I'm smart, and I want respect. To quote Fredo from The Godfather Part 2. So, yeah, I agree with that. That's a good take on that. Now, we've got a cool little update for one of our broadcasters here. That's me. Just one moment while I adjust my headphones.
Yes.
Got a cool Hollywood experience to tell you all about.
Tell me.
So, I booked this audition, and I went down to Space Station Studios, which is one of the biggest casting studios in Hollywood. And I get there, and the place is just crawling with human beings. And there's no air conditioning. It's probably like 83 degrees, give or take, and 300 people, just a breeding ground for disease. I'm a little bit sick. And they were all going out for this role in this motion picture. And I'm not going to say the name of it because superstitious. But so everyone is going out for this role. So I get there, sign in on the computer. Your wait time is 2 hours and 17 minutes. Fuck me. But I was off. I don't have anything better to do. Figure out, and there were some good-looking girls there. Two parts. There is a guy part and a girl part. There's some good-looking girls. So I figured I'd hang out, chat them up, ask them how their dating life is going. Anyway, so we're all waiting there, and 2 hours goes by, nothing. They were just calling people in one after the other. The casting director comes out. She's like, hey, we're so far behind schedule. If we cut you off after the first paragraph, it doesn't mean you didn't get the part. It just means we're running that far behind. So you're waiting 2.5 hours in a crowded room with a bunch of smelly actors to read a half a paragraph, right? So I'm like, you got to ball out, son. You got to go out there. And here's a quick audition tip, piece of advice. That's not mine. I got it from one of my acting coaches. And I think it applies to any job you're applying for. Don't go in and try to get the job. Take the fucking job. Go take the job. Make them think, I have to think of a reason to not give this guy the part. Go out there, lay it all on the line. Whatever happens, happens. The victory's in auditioning, right? Like, if you can't control if you get a part or not. Anyway, so I go in there, I do my read, and they're like, that was great. And it's the part is for a musician. So narrows it down. You got to be able to sing and play guitar. So I'm walking, I'm like, oh, Mr. Bates, are you available on Thursday? Call back, baby.
Bam.
It was worth it. So immediately after this podcast, I'm going to go back down there, and it's narrowed down. So I'm going to, going to lay it on them thick.
Fuck yeah.
I'll let you guys know how it goes. It's good though. I mean, I got the lines memorized and everything. I got my song. I'm going to play. I'm going to wow them. Going to dazzle them.
And what
for you guys.
What a perfect warm up too.
Oh yeah. I'm going to be coming in hot. Are you kidding?
Hell yeah.
Dude, this podcast, it just lets me let out on my, you know what I'm saying?
Oh, while we're talking about the podcast.
Yes.
I just want to say, I really do appreciate everybody who's been tuning in on Facebook and listening on the app.
You guys.
Girls. It's been fun. I mean, especially when I run into people and they're like, say that they've been listening, but instead of just saying, oh, it's cool, they want to weigh in on the things that we're talking about. And instead of just being like, hey, how's your mom? How's your dad? You know, not that that's bad, but we dive into shit immediately because they assume that I'm A, ready to go there. B, they already kind of have my perspective, you know, and I'm sure this is happening to you too, but it's like, it's really enhanced my conversations with all kinds of friends and connections that I've made when they listen to the show, and sometimes they refute me, but most of the time it's just like, keep the conversation going, and it's pretty cool. Yeah,
no, it's the ripple effect. And as much as I rip on social media and everything for all the negatives, that is one of the positives.
Yeah,
for sure. Because without the social media apparatus for us to use, we wouldn't be able to reach a ton of people. I've gotten a lot of really good feedback too. And so we're upping our game. We're doing more show prep. I'm bringing more hate. I'm trying to take the more trafficy routes to here. So I really get fired up before I walk in the door. You see that look in my eye too. Like my left eye is just a little bit off.
Yeah,
so the craziness.
You show up and like that, and I've been sitting in here just like, feeling fantastic, just ready to share the love. Although I've been getting more riled up recently just because it's kind of fun.
Yeah, I know. That's why I do it.
Yeah.
I know. I'm totally getting inside your brain, and hopefully yours too. I just want to see all of our listeners just going out into public, just like, being like me.
There's a fine line between being angry and being passionate, right?
Yeah.
And I think you want to bring passion to anything that you care about, but there is a level of calmness, and it comes back to, the way you listen to people too, that actually does make headway. Because sometimes I know people who aren't as nice as you. You're a nice guy. Who are just kind of angry and passionate, but what happens is people just, they put the wall up, and you know what I mean? And it's like they're not really making any waves at all. All they're doing is making people realize that they're an asshole.
Right. And on top of it, I mean, there is very little difference between how I am on this podcast and how I am in real life, with the amount of the hate, the passion, and all that. So you're getting the real me here. I'm not putting on a dog and pony show for you guys.
Same.
But yeah, I mean, to me, I understand that, and it can get out of hand if you don't watch it. But that's why, again, like we said, you got to keep an open mind. You got to be smart about it. Like, use your passion and everything to fuel something good, right? So anyway, like this podcast. And thanks again to everybody who's sharing it, because this is an in-the-know type thing. We don't advertise anymore. That fucking billboard on Sunset, dude, that cleaned me out. I took a $2 million loan from a bank. I don't think I'm gonna be able to pay it back, which is why we're going to start doing our Hollywood Hustle membership program. If you bring us 10 listeners, we'll give you a shout out. If you bring us 100 listeners, commemorative keychain. 1,000 listeners, not one, but 2 Hollywood Hustle monogram beer koozies. 100,000 listeners. I'll be seen in public with you for 7 minutes.
That's 7 minutes in heaven.
Yeah, exactly. That's why I picked that number. So anyway, it'll help me pay back that loan. Oh, man. Anyway, and I know the loan officer from Bank of America is listening too, because I told him what it's for. He's like, "Oh, watch your podcast." So, Jerry, sorry, I lied to you. I don't have that money.
Dude, I got another pretty fun Beverly Hills story.
Hit me. I love Beverly Hills stories.
All right, so I'm playing at Mastro's, Beverly Hills, and oh my God. So Fat Joe comes in with a crew, right?
Fucking love that guy.
And they're sitting not that far away from us, but they're doing their thing. It's him, another dude, and like 6 or 7 chicks. And that's pretty normal to have celebs come in like that.
Yeah, it's Masters in Beverly Hills. Just for those of you that don't know, Masters is like very high-end, expensive restaurant.
So, but then one of the guys comes up with this girl and is talking to our piano player. I'm playing guitar this night. And he's just like, we got this girl. He brings her up. She wants to sing. She's with Rock Nation. She's hanging out with Fat Joe. Like, you got to let her up. She wants to sing a Beyonce song, whatever, da-da-da. And
God,
the piano player, as he should have, said no. And the guy's like, "Come on." He's like, "No." And then when they're really persistent, we just say, "Sorry, management doesn't let us do that," right?
Yeah, which is true to a large degree.
But then they went and sweet talked this manager who's kind of new. God. And Fat Joe's there. They're about to spend like $2 or $3 grand.
That's it?
Yeah, I don't know how rich Fat Joe is, really.
That's par for the course at Mastro's.
Yeah.
Anyway.
But so the manager's like, "Yeah. Like, you can ask him again and say that I said it's okay. If they don't want to, that's whatever." Comes back, asks the piano player, the manager said it's fine. Guys looks at me. He's like, "Yo, manager said that she can sing." I'm like, "All right." I'm like, "What song?" Like, this. We're like, "All right, we'll just look it up on YouTube, give you like a karaoke track to sing with."
Oh, you didn't even back her?
I didn't know the song. And the
good,
fact, and the fact that
yourself.
And the fact that she didn't want to even just have a conversation about like a song that we knew to play.
Oh my God, she bombed, didn't she?
It was so bad, dude.
Oh,
she came up.
Yes.
She's wearing, she looks so LA. She's pretty hot. She's young. And she just starts going,
doing that thing.
And the highest notes you've ever heard, but like so out of key.
Just shrill.
So bad.
Yeah, pitchy as fuck.
And I'm playing guitar because I picked it up after one go round, right? I'm playing along, and then the manager comes up and is like, he gives us the axe, right? The same guy who approved it. And so So then
I like this.
So then I'm telling the other guy, I'm like, stop the track. Stop the track.
Cut the track.
Cuts the track. I play a chord and I'm just like, and I'm just like, give it up, give it up, give it up. and she's still just going, hey, and like head down, like feeling it. Fat Joe and his whole crew, they're all filming it. They're like, yeah. And I'm like, oh no. And me and my bandmates were just like trying to not laugh or cringe. And finally she stops after I've said give it up like fucking 10 times. And
Really?
And I'm just,
You're doing the thing.
And then she's like, she hands the mic back. Thank you so much, And then all her crew's like, girl, you're incredible. You're the best dance. And then Fat Joe's just like chilling,
Yeah.
And then the manager comes up after and he's like, I am so sorry. He's like, I'll never do that again. I really apologize. Like
He learned his lesson.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh man, that's a rookie mistake on his part. Cause she's just some 22-year-old, like she was probably a 10.
She was super hot.
Yeah, she's super hot, and just one of the guys wants to bang her, so she's like, I sang, dance a song. Let's sing a song of Lemonade.
And they work for Rock Nation. I bet she sounds fine recorded if they can tune her and do whatever.
Dude, my fucking dog sounds good recorded. Like, I don't want to hear that shit.
So it was just pretty fucking hilarious. And
That's sweet.
It's a Sunday night.
I like that. Is that bad? Is that bad that I like that? Yeah. Anyway, that's tragic. It reminds me of that really famous concert where Slash was playing with Michael Jackson, and it was the end of a song, and Slash wouldn't stop soloing, and he's like shit-faced drunk, and he's just like, doing pentatonics. You're like, and he keeps playing the same riff like over and over, and he's just like laughing his head off, and Michael Jackson's trying to like, do this, like, ow, all right, thank you. All right, yeah. And then he's just like, cut it. And then the stage hands run on the stage and try to grab Slash, and he like bats him away with his guitar. And he's like, he keeps playing and playing and playing. Oh my God.
100% how this chick was.
Oh, Jesus. That's fucking terrible.
Yeah, it was really funny. But yeah, so that was the most recent hilarious happening in Beverly Hills. But every week it's something different, dude.
I'm sure it is. Masters is like to Beverly Hills what Blue Martini is to Fort Lauderdale for our South Florida friends. Like, no, Blue Martini Boca. Like, let's take it a notch up, right?
There's actually going to be a Mastro's opening in a couple weeks in Lauderdale.
Yeah, right by Shooters.
Yep.
On the water?
Yep.
Yeah. No, it's a good location, too. We used to play at Shooters. I loved playing there. Shout out to Max.
Woo woo. But yeah, man, so I don't know, what time do we start this thing? Oh, we got some time.
We got some time. So I had a question for you yesterday. And just to kind of get in your head a little bit, if you could take anybody in entertainment, in any sector of entertainment, and bring them on a Hollywood Hustle to be interviewed, who would it be? Let's do one musician, one actor, one chick.
What if it's a woman actor?
Then you don't get to do the one chick. Just I did that because the female perspective on this stuff especially is very important.
All right. Well, for the musician, I thought about this pretty hard because there's tons of people that I'd actually really, really want to talk to.
They got to be alive.
Yeah, I hear that. But there's also people who I think would be very entertaining for the program and would be fun to try to have any type of conversation with. And for the sake of his new album coming out, Kanye.
Good choice.
Yeah,
that'd be awesome.
I'd love to have him on here because, one, his genius has kind of mystified me because I'll admit I'm not huge in that world. So, like, to understand what really is considered genius in the hip-hop world, I'm not the guy to ask, right?
I don't think they even know, but please continue.
So, but he's so highly esteemed in the creative world, especially for his first two albums. And the more people I talk to and the more I go back to him, like, all right, I get it now a little bit, right?
Yeah, he's a cool guy. Crazy, but cool. I like it.
But then with this new album, he made some crazy comments. And I'd be curious to see if he just did that for the sake of the album only, which that's what I would say. I think it's just the ultimate publicity stunt that you could possibly pull before releasing an album.
I really hope all that wasn't marketing. That'd be so disingenuous. It's like, if that is all just for marketing, then you're really not what you say you are.
Yeah.
That's enough for me to conclude that you're a fucking fraud.
It might be a little bit of both. It might be like he had this one...
I'll take that. I'll take it.
Like,
I want to believe.
you have one little idea, right?
Yeah.
And then it's one of those things that you're like, ooh, it comes over you and you're like, oh, that was a bad idea. I don't know what happened there.
I get those all the time. You know how many times I got that today on this program?
And then instead of repressing it, he's like, you know what? Probably a really good marketing strategy. Let's do it. You know, and I'm just curious where his head's at. If he's just like this free flowing, like, I say whatever the fuck I feel, man, or if it's like, what is it that I feel that is most interesting to say?
Or even worse, he's got a handler that's telling, like, a marketing publicist team that's telling him to do that. That would be so bad, so fraudulent, so disingenuous that I wouldn't be able to sleep for a couple days.
Yeah. So I listened to the album because why not? Especially with all the controversy, I wanted to hear if he had anything to say. And what I will say about the album is it's very topical and very, very current. Like,
right.
He must have recorded this like 2 months ago. You know, like, I don't know how long he's been working on it, honestly, because it's very fresh. But he dropped some disses. There's some really, really funny stuff about Russell Simmons getting Me Too'd, and like he talks some pretty hilarious shit. Mm-hmm. And the music's all right, but it's better than all the other shit that we talk about, Lil Yachty, and you know, it's definitely a cut above any of that.
Thank God.
But I don't know if I'll listen to it over and over again. There's like maybe 2 tracks on there that I thought were pretty cool. But yeah, I just would love to be in the presence of that dude. And he also talks about DMT in one of the songs.
Yeah, that guy's definitely done some kind of like psychedelic shit. Dude, his interviews that I've seen are really cool, like really woke.
Yeah.
He knows what's going on.
Yeah, so, and, you know, and some of the controversial stuff that he said, although if you're smart, you wouldn't say it, if, you know, for the sake of not, you don't want to have all of your audience feel alienated and whatever, but I'd like to hear him propose a thesis on why he made the statement. Because I bet it's a multi-level, deeper thing that has to do with consciousness more so than a literal take on it. You know what I mean?
Right. It's psychological. It's the same principle of when people asked about what Iggy Pop thought that his fans would think about one of the albums he released. He goes, I don't give a shit what my fans think. I'm way too cool to care about what my fans think. And it's like, you know, you're going after some chick or vice versa, you're some chick going after some dude. And if they're really interested and clingy, even if you were really attracted to them in the first place, that's a turnoff, right? So as an artist, you want to be inaccessible, right? People always want what they can't have. So, yeah, I think there's that element to it too. Fantastic choice.
Yeah.
Kanye West, get on the program, buddy. You have an album to promote. What better place?
Exactly. And I can hook you up with some cool stuff if you're interested, Kanye.
There you go.
Just saying.
The offer's on the table.
It is. And then, all right. So
actor. Thespian.
Let's go with, I thought about this a little bit too. You know who I think's great?
Christopher Walken.
Well, there's so many interesting fucking guys like that, but someone who I just would like to be in the same room with would be Rachel McAdams. She's Canadian.
Oh, I love her.
And
dude,
she's so talented, and everything she's in is just like, if you need someone to portray someone who the male character is going to fall in love with, she's the one. Like, it's her face, it's the way she reacts. Everything she does on screen feels like something that you want to experience in your life, you know? It's pretty wild, and I'd like to hear about her training behind that, if it's just natural or like what her process is, and also just to hang out and say what up, you know?
Yeah, you know, see if she's single, how her dating life is going.
That's everything.
She has dinner plans tonight. Good. That's a good choice. Yeah. That's really respectable, and I did not think that would be your choice.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I thought you would have gone Queen Latifah, who would be very interesting too.
Yeah. Well, there's so many interesting actors, and I mean that's a really. I mean, for this, that's why it's a great question that you asked because it is. There's so many people who have incredible stories, and I'd love to hear about. But I figured I'd go on the insane spectrum and then the wholesome spectrum too.
Yeah, and absolutely, people could totally get on the show. Like we're keeping it practical here.
Yeah.
Like I don't think that's out of our league at all.
No, not at all.
So, yep, you heard it here. Next week, we're gonna have a double interview: Kanye West and Rachel McAdams. If it doesn't happen, I'm a dirty liar.
Yep.
All right, so now time for my selections.
Yes.
Actor. I'm gonna go with that first. Long history in Hollywood. Cool guy in some of the most iconic movies you ever seen. I'm talking about Mr. the Great Clint Eastwood.
Ooh.
Oh, yeah. That guy's probably got some stories, man, because I feel like that guy, he's not the kind of guy that plays the game. He doesn't go to cocktail parties and to one group of people espouses one type of ideology or one version of himself that they'll like, and then chameleons into another type of person for another conversation at the same cocktail party. Like Clint Eastwood was just like, fuck you to everybody. And he's just so badass. Like you don't care. Like Clint Eastwood's, I don't know, was he 80 years old? And like, I wouldn't want to get in a fight with him. I'm in my prime. You saw me doing those bicep curls. I mean, I'm in good shape.
He's scary.
He's a scary guy. And just all his reactions of just disgust. Like he's got the perfect disgust face. Just,
Over mundane things, I could see be like, so, Mr. Eastwood, how do you feel about macaroni and cheese? I don't know about that, man.
yeah. Well, do you like it, punk? Yeah. Do ya? So, yeah.
You trying to get fat, boy?
Yeah. So, Clint Eastwood, absolutely. And then for a musician, it's basic. It's kind of the same thing, but I feel like the stories this dude must have over being a superstar for 50 years. Keith Richards.
Yeah.
Papa Keith Richards. I would love to sit down and talk to that guy just about God knows what. And he's really cool and down to earth. In all the interviews he does, he's just a chilling old dude that's just like a mega rock star. Right? I'd like to do that, and then I'd try to see if he'd give me one of his Telecasters. So there's also that angle I'd play where I'd try to get free shit out of him because I'm a leech. But yeah, Keith Richards would be great. So Keith, we'd love to have you on the program. We'll send this out to your people. Hopefully it makes it to you. And then my female. And she's watching right now. Taylor Swift.
Oh, you love her.
I fucking love her. Like everything you said about Rachel McAdams is true. Totally true. Absolutely. But take it to like, I don't know, 4 times that, and you got Taylor Swift.
Taylor's definitely more talented in terms of being the prolific artist. You know, like she really is an incredible business person too, and she's just beautiful, man. She's awesome.
God must have spent a little more time on you. Yeah. No, dude, I love her, but also to talk to her about coming up from, because she seems to like have it together as much as you can to be at that level of superstardom and starting so young, and just to see like what are your plans for the rest of your life? You're already at the top, and you're at the point where you can keep it. You're like Dolly Parton status, right? When you're 80, people are still gonna be like, holy shit, it's Taylor Swift in Whole Foods, like look out.
Yeah.
And well, they might not say that because they'll be like, holy shit, who's that chick with Tom Bates? So I hope that's not a problem for you, honey.
Yeah.
But anyway, yeah. So that's my my reason for that. And then also, I think it'd be good for the show if I proposed to her on air.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
with zero, context, zero friendship, just a cold proposal. I'm sure that never happens to her, right?
A look in the eye.
That's all it takes,
babe. Yeah.
One kiss is all it takes. Falling in love with me. Some Calvin Harris. There we go.
Yep. No, not Calvin Harris. Not Calvin Harris. She didn't. We don't want to remind her about ex-lovers that are potentially better looking and richer than myself. So no Calvin Harris.
So no, your body is a wonderland.
No. No John Mayer. No John Mayer. And don't talk about the Kennedys, and don't talk about any actors in Hollywood.
Okay. Clint Eastwood?
No, his son. He's got a good-looking son that's my age. Just talk about like Lord of the Rings or something.
Okay.
Just keep it geeky.
Schmeagol.
Yes, very good. I look good compared to that.
Burns off.
Yes, just keep doing that. So I look so good compared to you. She's like, do I get to get out of here if I say yes? Yeah.
I have a question for you.
Yes.
Do you do a good Keith Richards impersonation? Because I'd like to have a conversation with you right now. As I'll be Mick, you can be Keith.
We were in Toronto, and I was in the airport, and I got pinched by this fucking TSA. You got heroin in your fucking suitcase. And I'm like, fuck it, heroin. I don't shoot heroin. You know, my arms are covered up so you don't see the marks. But it was just, we were recording Let It Bleed at the time, and I just done Give Me Shelter, and we were doing our 16th U.S. tour that year. And the fucking bastards threw me in jail. But that's alright. I was running a cell block in a matter of 2 hours. I'm fucking Keith Richards, baby.
Keith, what are you talking about? You don't know anything about the tour. Keith, but I'm so nervous about everything you're trying to tell me right now. I think it's not real. So, suck on that, Keith.
Hey, bugger off, Mick. You know I only tolerate you because you've been in the band since the beginning. Good God, I can't wait to stop touring with you.
But don't you love all the insane orgies that we have been a part of together, Keith?
You weren't even invited. How many times do I have to tell you? What's this? Stop it. You're 80 years old. You're a grandfather, Mick.
Yeah, but I'm currently married to a 23-year-old. So what are you doing with your life, Keith?
Oh, gee, I still shoot speedballs. I'm high as a kite right now.
I've been sober for at least 22 years if you don't count alcohol, cocaine, and some of those magic mushrooms every now and then.
Hey, fuck off. Well, you're in the gym doing your fucking calf raises. Me and Ozzy Osbourne are out on some jet skis, snorting pharmaceutical-grade cocaine off... I don't want to say any names. Of young, good-looking women's... I'm going to stop there.
I'm looking for more meaning in my life, Keith.
Jesus Christ. Anyway, so yeah.
That was fun.
Yeah. No, Keith Richards is good. You nailed he does that. He does like this chicken poofy chest thing. I like Mick Jagger, but yeah, no, that's spot on.
It was fun, man. And then other listeners have enjoyed when we've had our conversations as when you're Obama and I'm Trump.
Well, I'm glad they enjoy it, and I do it for the people. It's not about me or any kind of ambitions that I personally have. It's about unity of the people as a nation and as a country. And I'm just here to bring people together. So, Donald, well, leave it up to you.
Wrong.
What do you mean?
Wrong. You're a Muslim from Kenya. I am Donald Trump, the greatest businessman to ever live. And I am bringing America back together. And it's going to be great. It's the best thing you've ever seen in your life. Okay, Barack?
But Donald, that's your answer to everything. And I've tried to extend the olive branch to you. Again, peace, unity. I said, let's go play some golf together. Let's go. I was willing to get a spray tan with you, Donald. Anything to bridge the gap between our two administrations. But you won't do it. Why?
Because golf is a white man's game.
Donald.
No, fuck Tiger Woods. He's a loser, okay? A loser. And I'm here with Stormy Daniels. We're having a lot of fun over here. And you're over there trying to pretend like you're some goody two-shoes.
We're fucked.
We are fucked.
Anyway, I mean, as much as we do that, like I don't like any politician. How about that? And I like all politicians at the same time. You don't know what I think, media. Anyway, we got anything else? How about some more content?
I don't know. I think we covered a whole lot of shit today. It was a much different vibe than last week, too. I dig it.
Can we end with a little joke?
For sure.
Okay. Let me get ready for this. All right. Now, this joke, feel free to use it, and you don't have to reference me because I stole it, too. So, guy walks into a bar, sits down at the bar, goes to the bartender, give me 9 shots of Fireball. He's like, Jesus. Pours out 9 shots. Guy shoots them all, one after another. Bartender comes over. He's like, 9 shots, man. What's the occasion? He goes, well, my first blowjob. He goes, oh, man. Well, let me give you a shot on me. He goes, sir, if 9 shots can't get the taste out of my mouth, nothing will.
And that is it, folks. Thank you for listening. Thanks for watching. We'll be back next week. Thank you for all the support. And we'll be back.
That's right. Like it, dig it, share it, tell your mother, tell your dog. See you next week, people. Thank you.